Hello and welcome to Times Radical. Today I'm going to show you how I removed the tarnish from this 16758 Rolex GMT, and then I'll be polishing the case. Now this watch looks pretty good. The scratches and dings in it aren't really deep, so we're just going to give it a light polish. But before that, I'll be removing some of that dark tarnish, that oxidation that's on the case. And to do that, we have a special machine here. I really like how it looks when the bubbles come off of the case and bracelet like that. So here we go. The tarnish has been removed and the gold looks a lot brighter than before. I really like that oxidation look when the gold gets darker. I think it looks really cool. But for this job, we're going to give the watch a light polish. Now it's not too beat up and it's in very great shape, so we're just going to do the polishing lightly, and I'm going to show you how I do this. This is the easiest way I know how to do without being too invasive, but still getting the entire watch back to the factory look. So for that, I have a simple polishing kit, and I'll show you what I'll be using for this watch. Definitely want to protect the case, the chapter ring, with a used crystal. You don't want to get that piece polished. I will be using this hard rock felt wheel, and I'm using that with this medium prep kind of compound. The next polish I'll be doing will give it a higher finish. Now you can see the thread count is less, and they're very coarse threads. And I'll be using a more finer rouge polishing compound, but still abrasive. For the final mirror finish, you can see this wheel is much softer, and the cotton sheets have a higher thread count, a lot finer, and the compound I use on this wheel is a super finished gold. So it just depends on if I'm polishing steel or gold. I have a couple other. This is a super finish for steel, and this one is what I would use to prep the hard wheel if I was doing a steel case. But for gold, this is what I like to do. So case is here. I got the hard rock felt. I'm gonna show you guys a little bit of the room I'm in here. Okay. I'll turn this on slow. I believe it's about 1300 RPMs. Turning this vacuum fan on to suck some of this air out in case polishing compound particles and fibers from the wheel, I don't want to inhale those. So now I apply the polishing compound to the wheel lightly. I don't need too much. This is gold, it's very soft. And I just begin to keep the case flat right on that wheel. This lathe has 2 speeds, a slower and a faster one. I believe the faster speed is about 3,300 RPMs, and we do have a variable speed lathe, but this lathe is nice. I'm used to it, and but it's a good idea when you start polishing to get comfortable with different speeds and learn the types of finishes and how to push the case into the wheel and pull it out. And that's the first pass. There are a couple little scratches in there, one dead center in the middle and another towards the right. I haven't done this side of the case yet, but we'll get to that. So after giving it a quick assessment, I'm going to continue to polish that side of the case. It's not quite done yet. Now I'm holding the case very steady. I'm pushing in where it needs to be polished more, but I'm keeping the case moving. I'm not sitting on one side of the case specifically. And there are some facets and bevels on the edge that you might want to touch up. So you can do that also. But just keep in mind that this watch is already good looking, and we're just doing a light refinishing to get it back. It doesn't take much to get that mirror finish back on this type of gold watch. Yeah, looks like I had to get into it a little bit more than I thought I would. But sometimes that's the case. So here we go. That's after the second pass with the hard rock felt wheel. I did try and touch up the bevels on the edge just a little bit. But the main thing was to get all those scratches out. And you can see the finish isn't completely mirror. It's a little foggy, but you can tell that it's flat. The side of the case is nice and flat. There's no weird ripples or warping. Now this side of the watch you need to be a little bit more careful with because of the crown guards. So there's that angle you gotta get through, cleaning up all the scratches without messing it up. Gotta maintain that case shape. Apply a little bit more compound. Now, right when I'm getting into that corner, I realize forgot to put a crown over the tube. And that's no good, because if I end up slipping, I definitely don't want to polish the threads off the crown. But it looks like I don't realize. Now touching up the crown guards, I figured it out. Now I'm looking for an old crown. All right, here we go. And just like that. Tube covered. Carry on. Yeah, part of the reason why I want to do these videos is just to have some more fun with watches. You know, the job can be boring and repetitive, but that's what it is, and making these videos helps a little bit with some of the boredom. Kind of gets me more excited to do the next job if I might be able to film it. So there we go. Both sides of this case are polished and prepped with the hard rock felt wheel. The next wheel we have here is that fluffy cotton wheel, the more coarse one. And this one is really gonna start giving the watch some more luster. I put some of the polishing compound on the right side of the wheel, and when I embed the watch into the wheel, the compound hits the case, and some of it may stay there, so you can swipe from the right side of the wheel to the left and get some of that excess compound off of the watch, and then you can see better what you're working with and how effective the polishing is getting. So yeah, I hope everyone who's interested in working on watches and watching these videos, they're also taking it easy, because there's nothing worse than being too stressed or anxious or taking yourself too seriously to an extent where you're not enjoying the work you're doing. So just keep that in mind, and I really appreciate all the subscribers I've gotten so far and people watching my videos. So I'm having a lot of fun doing this. And you can see here that it's a lot brighter. The case is coming out much more shinier, much more refined. There's still some of those fine streaks. I want to move the watch into a different lighting to get a better view on how it's going. But yeah, definitely don't want to polish the watch too much. So we're going to jump right into the last fluffy cotton wheel with the finer threads and the super finish gold compound. And this I will be using the higher speed on a lathe. This wheel really shines up the case, and when you the watch from the wheel, if you're also quick to exit, I get the sense that it leaves less streaking or compound residue. So I always do the last mirror finish with this wheel. And since it's the last finishing process for making the watch bright, it usually doesn't take very long. At this point in the process, I'm beginning to see the light at the end of the tunnel. The case has this super mirror finish on the gold, very little streaking left behind, and I don't really want to touch this case on the sides anymore. I still need to do the satin finish on the top of the lugs. And the other part of the watch that I haven't done is the bezel or the case back. So we'll be getting into those. And yeah, if I start touching the sides of this case with my fingerprints, you would see smudges, but I'm just showing you how it's looking right now. Now it's getting really exciting because there's only two little things to polish: the bezel and the case back. Doing high speed, the fluffy fine wheel, just once around the bezel, just like that. You could give it a satin finish on the bottom, but we're gonna leave what's there. It's good enough. Now the case back. It's all about this ring in the center. Outside ring gets the satin, inside ring gets the mirror, and then you get the lines on the case back. So this is just to brighten up that ring in the center. High speed, once around, real quick, gets that part of the job done. It doesn't need to be super perfect. It's on the back side of the watch, it's resting on the wrist, and you still want some of that knurling there to open up the watch again. So always going light. That's my message to you. Just take it easy when doing the polishing. I get an emery stick, have the case back chucked up to this lathe, and I go up and down just a few times. The lathe is going relatively slowly, so you're getting nice consecutive lines, concentric almost. Now the final step in this, I have some double-sided foam tape. You can see some of the original lines in the case back, what direction they were going. So I make those parallel with this block. It's a heavy steel block. Got the double-sided tape, the case back glued down onto it. Now this is a simple, this might be 200, 180 grit. I'm going to place it onto this clipboard with the sandpaper, and I'm using this masking tape block as a little guide. And now I'm really getting excited to finish this. I mean, the movement is done. See, and I flipped the block one way then the other, just to make sure I'm not wearing out one direction. It helps keep the lines uniform, but I'm ready to case this watch up. There are only a few more steps in the polishing. I want to get these parts clean. I want to get my hands clean. But look at that. I mean, that's good enough. There's no need to go overboard when polishing the watch in this condition already. I really like that look in a different light. So here we go, stepping into the lug zone. This is how I refinish the lugs. This is 220 grit sandpaper, Ray Foster lathe. I just have the lathe barely turned on. This is the slowest it can go. And I'm keeping it light. This gold is real delicate to work with. Not want to scrape it all off. It's a real thrilling part of the job. But you really only need to, when you get good at it, it just takes a couple swipes. Lugs here. Making sure there's no facets. So here we go. The case, middle frame, is completely finished. It needs to go in the ultrasonic bath along with the case back. Completely finished. Super excited to show you how it comes out. Here we go with the bezel, lightly finished. And now we have the watch. After it comes out of the ultrasonic, you can really see how it looks. I could have done the back of the case underneath the lugs. This watch has been serviced several times, and just keeping it the way it is. I really like how it looks, how it came out. I didn't go overboard with the refinishing, but we still get the mirror finish where we want it, and the satin finish where it counts. So thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you've enjoyed watching my method. You know, there's many ways to do the same job. This is just one way to do it. So happy watchmaking, and I hope everyone's enjoying these videos I'm putting out. Thanks for watching. Remember, take it easy.